The Elder Scrolls community is no stranger to modding, and sure enough, the recently released Oblivion Remastered also has a fair few solid mods available on PC as well, even if its modding scene is nowhere near as robust as other Bethesda RPGs just yet. We've already covered a handful of notable Oblivion Remastered mods to keep an eye on in a past feature, but there's still a lot more to cover, so here, we're going to talk about 15 more that you can find on NexusMods. Lumiere. If you've ever felt like the world of Cyrodiil maybe feels a bit too dark and dimly lit while traversing it at night, NexusMods user Tewix's Lumiere Lights of Cyrodiil mod addresses that specific issue. The mod adds lanterns along streets and roads, along signposts, and next to inn entrances, making Cyrodiil much better lit when you're traveling around at night. With visibility improved, the game's world definitely feels at least a little bit better to explore even with low light. Enhanced Light Radius. Another lighting mod that's worth looking into, also by Tewix, is the Enhanced Light Radius mod. In simple terms, it increases the draw distance of static light sources, such as torches, campfires, doomstones, and more. Players might experience some hits to the performance with this mod installed, but it does make some neat improvements to the lighting. Combined with the aforementioned Lumiere mod, it makes a solid difference. Improved World Map. The world map that Oblivion Remastered lets you pull up isn't always the most accurate, but it does become much more so with Dralkin's A More Complete World Map mod. In addition to adding more color to the map and making it more legible, the mod also adds lakes and roads that were missing from the original, ups its resolution to 8K, and more. Improved Clouds. Oblivion Remastered is obviously much better looking than the 2006 original, but there's still some room for improvement. Hecklin's Velvet Horizons Cloud Replacer mod makes some incremental ones. Specifically, the mod fills the game's skybox with a significantly higher number of clouds that adds much more noise and flavor to the sky. It's a purely cosmetic change, of course, but one that adds something to the experience, even if only to a slight degree. New spells. For the magic users out there, Arx Valium's Forgotten Spells mod is one that you should absolutely look into, given the fact that it adds close to 50 usable spells to the game. Specifically, the mod adds 48 spells that are present in the game's files, or in some form, even in the game itself, but aren't ever actually usable by the player. This mod changes that, adding attribute draining spells, conjuration spells, restoration spells, illusion spells, and more. More quick slots. In its current form, Oblivion Remastered only lets you have 8 items or spells assigned to the quick slots that are available via the radio wheel that you can pull up anytime. But if that's not enough, which it very well may not be, ES Oddjob's More Quick Keys mod doubles that number. Do keep in mind that the 8 additional slots that the mod adds in don't let you shortcut spells, so you're going to have to work around that restriction. Better enemy AI. Combat is far from Oblivion Remastered's strongest suit, but there are mods available that do make it better in some ways. Take for instance Madden's Terror O2's Responsive Combat AI mod, which improves various aspects of enemy AI, specifically in combat scenarios. With the mod installed, enemies will be able to dodge and block more frequently and effectively, in addition to being more aggressive with their attacks, which will also deal more damage. Improved performance and visuals. Oblivion Remastered already brings a plethora of upgrades and enhancements to the original game's visuals, but Samolicia's Ultra Plus for Oblivion Performance and Visuals Remastered mod, there's plenty more on offer as well. Among several improvements and enhancements, players can expect improved performance, lighting, draw distances, ray tracing features, and much more, while also polishing up the game's technical aspects in other ways. Climates revised. If you're hoping to see more diverse and authentic weather patterns across Cyrodiil's many locations, Spifferinos Climates Revised mod might be worth a look. Though you shouldn't expect any outright new weather or climate effects, the mod does ensure that weather patterns are more evenly distributed across the map. So, for instance, an area that never had thunderstorms earlier will now have them from time to time. No item degradation. Item and weapon degradation is almost always controversial as a mechanic in most games, and even though many would argue that when well implemented, it can be crucial to the gameplay loop and experience, there are many out there who just don't like dealing with the constant worry that degradation mechanics bring with them. Eric's succinctly named No Item Degradation mod, however, addresses that in Oblivion Remastered, adds that into the game. Fast travel changes. Fast travel is already pretty accessible and convenient in Oblivion Remastered, but there's ways to make it even quicker for those who are looking for them. For instance, there's the Fast Travel Anywhere from Everywhere mod by Extra Eldrin, which lifts the few restrictions that are placed on the player with fast travel, such as not being able to fast travel when you are indoors. Among other things, it also adds all map markers. More enemies. One issue with Oblivion Remastered that even some of the biggest diehard fans have brought up is how empty and static its world can be. Madden's Terror 02's More Enemies mod addresses that at least to some degree. As the mod name suggests, it adds more enemies to the game world so that you'll have more dynamic encounters with a variety of different types of foes when you're journeying through Cyrodiil. Advanced followers. Followers and companions can be a big part of the experience in Bethesda Game Studios RPGs, depending on how you're choosing to play at least. So this might be a mod that some might be interested in. Spider Akira's Advanced Followers mod essentially allows NPCs to become followers, which means they can become members of your party and follow you around as you're adventuring through the world of Cyrodiil. Guards Revised.
Hope you rot, criminal scum.
Another mod available on NexusMods by user Spifferino is Guards Revised, which completely overhauls the loadouts and arsenals of guards scattered throughout the map. Different guards now carry different weapons and armor based not only on what part of Cyrodiil you find them in, but also what their specific duties are, so jailers and castle guards will be differently equipped, as will a guard in one city from another in a different city. More combat tweaks. Now let's close things off with another mod that specifically targets combat improvements. Miro Modin's More Damage custom combat overhaul mod tweaks and changes combat in several ways, with the goal being to make it a bit harder and more dangerous. That entails changes to damage output numbers, armor settings, and more. Again, combat is certainly not what Oblivion is about for most players, but for those who do engage in it a fair bit, which many of course admittedly do, this mod is certainly worth looking into. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.